Hi Year 4. This is our second book talk session this week, and today we're going to start reading the story The Shaman's Apprentice. I'm going to read the first 2 pages to you, and then there are some questions you're going to have a go at answering. In the Tirio Indian village of Kuamala, deep in the Amazon rainforest, Kamanya lay in his hammock, burning with fever. His mother sat nearby, fanning him. "Kamanya, Kamanya," she whispered, but he did not answer. She spoke gently to her husband. "It is time. Take him." He picked up the boy and carried him to the hut of the shaman, the medicine man. Softly chanting, the shaman Natala disappeared into the forest. He returned with leaves, roots, and bark, which he put into a pot of water boiling on the fire. Stirring and singing, he asked the sickness to leave the boy. Then Natala removed the pot from the fire, and when the mixture had cooled, he lifted Kamanya's head and poured the warm medicine into the boy's mouth. The shaman's song ended as night came. Kamanya's parents sat beside him until morning. When the boy awoke, the fever was gone. As the years passed, Kamanya would remember the shaman's ritual as if it were all a dream, but he never forgot that the shaman saved his life. Now, there are a few questions you're going to answer about what you've just heard. Yesterday, we talked about what apprentice might mean, and now you should be able to tell me what a shaman is. So what job or position does the shaman hold? This is your personal opinion. Would you like to see the shaman if you were ill with a fever? If you answer yes or no, I'd like you to explain why. One of the quotes in the book is, "Stirring and singing, he asked the sickness to leave the boy." So we're asking you, who do you think the shaman is asking? What is the meaning of the word ritual? So it's a little bit of vocabulary practice. You might need to find a dictionary, use an online dictionary to find the definition of that word and check it makes sense in this context. And then finally, softly chanting on page 2 is a fronted adverbial. Now, a fronted adverbial sits at the beginning of a sentence. And this part, which is separated from the rest of the sentence of a comma, tells us when, where, or how something is done. On page 2, there are 3 more fronted adverbials on there. Can you list them? When you think you've done those questions, and especially that last one, I want you to come back to this video because I'm going to do a little bit more with it with the fronted adverbials. Okay, so you go and answer the questions and then you can come back. So hopefully you've answered all of those questions. And I want to focus on the fronted adverbial question. And I've got one more thing I want you to do afterwards. Now, I said softly chanting is an example of a fronted adverbial, and there were 3 more that I wanted you to find. So they were stirring and singing. Got that here, stirring and singing. I was also looking for when the boy awoke, down here. You see it's separated from the rest of the sentence of the comma. And the final one was as the years passed. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to read this page again, but I'm going to miss out the fronted adverbials. And I want you to be thinking, what do fronted adverbials add to the story and the way it's told? And what difference does it make when they are not there? That's something you're going to discuss afterwards. So here's this page without the fronted adverbial. The shaman Natala disappeared into the forest. He returned with leaves, roots and bark, which he put into a pot of water boiling on the fire. He asked the sickness to leave the boy. Then Natala removed the pot from the fire, and when the mixture had cooled, he lifted Camanya's head and poured the warm medicine into the boy's mouth. The shaman's song ended as night came. Camanya's parents sat beside him until morning. The fever was gone. Camanya would remember the shaman's ritual as if it were all a dream, but he never forgot that the shaman saved his life. So that's the last part of what I want you to do today. Think about what's the difference with the fronted adverbials and without. What is their purpose? Because we're going to be using some fronted adverbials in our writing later on over the next couple of weeks. It's important to understand why they are there, what their purpose is. And we will read a little bit more of the story tomorrow. So I shall see you then.